It is mandatory. What the Constitution provides. The House, as you noted, has the exclusive power of impeachment. The Senate has the exclusive power, and I would argue the responsibility to try impeachment. In our nation's history, 22 times this has happened. 22 times the House of Representatives has impeached an individual and sent articles of impeachment to the Senate. Prior to yesterday, in every case in which the Senate had jurisdiction, so there are 4 cases where the individual had either died or left office, and the Senate concluded it didn't have jurisdiction. But in every case where it had jurisdiction, the Senate conducted a trial, the Senate heard evidence, the Senate adjudicated the matter, and every senator voted guilty or not guilty. That had been the continuous precedent for 200 years until yesterday when every Democrat decided they were not going to do their constitutional duty. They would not allow a trial to happen. They would not hear any evidence. And instead, they simply ruled at the outset they were not going to consider the matter.
Okay, so that's a whole lot of jibber jabber coming out of that possum-faced loser's mouth, but it amounts in the end to this. It is unacceptable for Chuck Schumer to have tabled those articles of impeachment because we in the Senate have a divine duty to consider impeachment. Impeachment is serious, and we have to consider. You don't just shut it down, you don't just stop it, you have to consider it. Consideration.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the damage report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Well, consider this. When it was Donald Trump that was going to go on trial as part of the impeachment process, Ted Cruz did the exact same thing. Sorry, he tried to do the exact same thing. He tried to table that impeachment. Now, he didn't have the votes to actually do it, but he tried and failed to do the thing that he is now blathering about how it's some sort of dereliction of duty. So look, nobody is going to be surprised to find hypocrisy coming from Ted Cruz, but it's like comically easy to track down the hypocrisy now. Again, we could do our is this a principle thing or the principal's office. Anytime they state something that seems like it's a value or a principle, something concrete and ideological, you scratch at it just the slightest bit and it utterly falls apart. Brett, what are your thoughts?
It wasn't until now that I really was able to crystallize what every Ted Cruz interview is like, and it is this. I don't know if anyone's seen Gremlins 2. It's Billy Peltzer. It's like some rundown sad guy that moved to the big city in hopes of being a real journalist / chasing his dreams. And then Ted Cruz looks exactly like the vampire, like the one-time high quality actor host who had to abandon all principles so that he could, because he knew he valued being on TV more than anything. Yeah. And he's sad and depressed. Like this guy was like, I used to do a really good show and I loved it, but now I'm just being an idiot for network. Well, Trump is network, Fox News, all those people are network. And Ted Cruz is like, I went to Harvard, Princeton, and Yale, and I was going to be a Supreme Court justice, but there was something about me that liked the limelight. So he just goes to it like a moth to the flame, and he incinerated his integrity, yet somehow, like the burning bush in the Old Testament, does not get consumed by it. But this is the only way that he can relay Donald Trump's divine message to the idiot followers who are gonna end up worshiping a golden calf.
There's a lot of metaphors there, but I think they're largely accurate, and thank you for that. Yeah, no, all the interviews do follow a very similar sort of thing. Like this dude does not want to be a senator. He wants to host like a podcast that's like a combination of like Strict Scrutiny and Howard Stern. That's all he wants. He wants to like say something inaccurate about a law and then talk about like a woman that he thinks is hot. That's it. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?